most of this stuff anyway.
We're gonna record it,
Okay.
and then post it so that she can watch it, on YouTube.
Okay. And
It,
I'll
it'll
try
be a
to,
pri- it'll be a private link, so nobody else can be able to see this.
okay. Okay. And I'll try to remember to keep my eye open to see if she shows up there, we can let her in. Okay. All right. So we are at that time now where we have passed the regular submissions deadline and are now into late submissions. And that's always the point when we switch over to doing to having everybody focus on their individual blocks. There'll still be new submissions coming in over the next month. And if you get through watching everything that's in your blocks and you're looking for something else to watch and review, let me know and I can share some of those with you. Otherwise, Jessica and Amantha and myself will take care of handling the new submissions that are coming in. We instituted a new pricing schedule this year, so I'm expecting late submission period to be less than what it's been in the past, which would be a good thing. As always, our main focus is making sure that those regular deadline submissions get full attention. As far as really, it's those are the ones we're most concerned about. The late submissions that come in, we will do our best to make sure they get watched and considered and included. But they end up becoming a little bit lower priority. They want to be higher priority. They should have gotten it in um, by the first deadline. So anyway, what I'm going to do as of right now, all of your queues have been cleared. After the meeting here, I'm going to repopulate your queues with your specific categories. I've gone ahead and assigned everybody categories. I talked to everybody about doing one or multiple blocks. So everybody has one or two blocks. And the other thing I'm going to send you after the meeting is the link for this year's spreadsheet, which I'm going to show you right now. So I need to share that. Okay. Okay, so you should see that on the screen right now. Everybody see the spreadsheet? Okay.
Yes. Or see,
So
yes.
so the important part for each of you is your individual tab at the bottom of the spreadsheet. Your tab will have your categories and films. So let me just use Adrian since hers is the first one here. Adrian has Drawn to Horror, which is our animation block, and also Supernatural Scares. And so you'll see the first it's got three columns for each of these. The first column is where I'll be placing new films. So as we're continuing to get in new submissions, that get sorted into your category, that's where I'll be putting them. Is I'll be putting them into the new films category. The center or this new films column. The center column is your block. This is the area that you're working with to try to craft your block of films. This year, set the amount of time that we want to aim for is 45 minutes. Things were a little tight last year. We want to try to give ourselves a little bit more room between blocks without having to cut down the number of blocks that we're showing. So that's what you want to aim for. You counter at the top here. That'll add up the total number of minutes that you have in the column here at the top. It's subtracting it from the 45 minutes to show you if you're under that 45 minutes or if you're over. You want to try to not be too far in either direction. You can be a little bit over, especially right now before we go to sorting out the duplicates. That's not a problem, but your goal is to try to get it as close to 45 minutes as possible. Now, when you're watching the films, some of which I'm sure you probably will have already seen, others you'll be watching for the first time. But as you're watching the films, you want to decide if you want to add them into your block, or if it's not, you're not ready to put in your block yet, but it's one you would consider, especially if you end up losing something in your block because of sorting out duplicates. You want to keep it in your backup list. If it's something you absolutely don't like and you have no intention of considering that, go ahead and still put it, you keep it on your page here. Don't delete it. Just move it over to your recycle column, which is on the far end of the page here. Something else I want to mention that I was noticing last year with the sheet, and I think the issue was that when it comes to moving films around, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to highlight the title and the running time, and then grab it and drag it. Because I think people were cutting and pasting stuff last time, and I think that was messing up the numbers at the top. When you do that, it doesn't always keep the right count for these cells underneath. So I found it appears that to avoid that, if you drag it instead, that should help with that issue. Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Just looking back to see if I had any message from Jessica. No, not yet. Okay. All right. So let me see here. So I covered all of that. So that's basically how this works in regard to putting your blocks together. Like I said, the key is to keep an eye on that time. Try to keep this as close to this. Like I said, this is subtracting out, so you want to keep this as close to 0 as possible. But a little bit under is fine. A little bit over is fine too at this point, because stuff will be changing when you go into Film Freeway. And let me switch over to that real quick. Okay, so when you go over to Film Freeway, I'm using Amantha's here as an example. You're going to see just the films from your categories. So in Amantha's case, she has the all ages category, and she has the art house category. So those are the only films that she has listed in here combined. To sort them out, to just look at each one individually, you can go up to the flags at the top of the page, and you just go down and select that particular category, press apply filter, and then that will be just the films that should match up to your list on the spreadsheet showing for that category. In this case, I selected art house. This should match up to what she has on there for art house. If it doesn't match up, if a film is missing from one place or the other, just let me know and I'll look into it and fix it. Sometimes that happens. I try to keep from that happening, but it does.
You're
Hey,
not
Eric,
sharing your screen.
You're not sharing Film Freeway. You're just sharing the
Oh.
spreadsheet.
Your spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to
I'm
hit
like,
the
what are you
share
talking
button.
about?
I'm sorry. Did it share now?
Yes.
Yeah, now it is.
Okay. I'm sorry. I selected it, but I didn't hit, there was another button I had to hit to share it. So anyway, back up here. So as I said, her queue has all the films from those two categories, from the all ages category and the art house category. So like I said, if she just wants to look at her art house films, you go into the flags drop down here at the top, select she would select art house in this case, and then click on apply filter, and that will show just the 35 films that are on her art house category. So like I said, that should match up to what's on her spreadsheet. Her spreadsheet should show 35 films for art house, and it should be the same 35 films. like I said, if you find there's any kind of discrepancy, let me know and I'll look and see what the problem is. I may have mismarked something. I may have marked the wrong flag on there or not gotten it moved onto the spreadsheet, but I'll take care of that. So that's what you'll see. So you just will, like I said, at this point, your main focus is just going through and making sure you watch all of the films in your particular categories, and please continue to rate them. The ratings are very important. As we discussed at our meeting earlier in the year, we use those numbers when it comes to determining helping to determine how strong a block is. So we still want to get your opinion on it. We still want to get that rated. It's still marked on there as required to answer all the questions and to do the sorting to mark categories. Just because we still have new stuff coming in and we want to make sure that stuff gets marked, and it can only be one way or the other. So you're still going to have to do all that. You don't have to worry about listing it in every category it fits. If you want, you can just list the category that you're already reviewing it for. That's fine. But if you think it belongs in something else, I'll still be looking at that and I will still sort it into a new category if I see a new category that somebody hadn't marked before. But like I said, really important to watch everything in there and to rate it so that we know how strong the film is, how well received the film is among the programmers. Because well, before I move on to that, does anyone have any questions about the Film Freeway aspect of it? No? Okay. So,
Well-
yes.
I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If we have a film that's in our list and somehow it gets withdrawn, will we be notified automatically that it's been withdrawn? Or is that
Well,
something that
if it's withdrawn, it won't be accessible to you.
at all? Okay.
I believe the judging status on there, you should see the judging status change to withdrawn, and usually the film is gone. So if you click in there, there's not a film to
Okay.
see. But I will keep track of that. We have had this year only one film withdrawn.
Okay.
One film withdrawn and one film we disqualified because it really did not it really wasn't much of a film. It definitely wasn't horror. It was much more of a PSA. And so we eliminated that right from the start. But we've only had it's really not anything worth being curious about. It's nothing. So anyway, but that's relatively low for us to have only two films in that kind of situation. Okay, so moving on here, the next thing is that's important to keep in mind is that we and I've mentioned this before and I just want to mention it again, we will put together more categories than we will be able to show at the convention. And the main reason we do this is because we want to make sure that we can get the best lineup possible. It's very important to remember that this is not a competition. You're not in competition to put together the best block. It's not. This is about all of us working together to put together the best festival we can. We're gonna have to eliminate a couple categories when we get down to the end. Please don't take it personally, and especially don't feel like what you did that it negates anything that you did. It was still really important in helping us to get to that point. But we want to do that. We want to do that because we don't want to, from the beginning, lock ourselves into particular categories that just ultimately feel like they don't really come together. And every category is vulnerable because we have had years where we've had several years where we haven't had an all ages category, but we've also had years where we haven't had a Halloween category. which we kind of look at that as our main category since it's a Halloween convention. We want to have that one in there. But we had a year where we just really did not have anything that was submitted of any kind of quality that would have made for a good Halloween block. And we had other categories that just were much better fit for the program. So, but we will get to that point when we get down to making our final selections. We need to have these blocks in place by the first week of roughly the first week of May. So we're looking at actually I'll say the first full week of May. By the end of that first full week of May, which would be about, let's see, look at the calendar. Around the 11th of May is when we want to have the blocks in kind of their semifinal state. That's the point when we'll take care of duplicates, where we'll look at the blocks, we'll see where the duplicates are, we'll go through and review them and kind of figure out where films might fit best, pull them out. In that case, then you'll go to your backups and refill that. It can take, sometimes this process goes very, very quickly. Other times it takes a little bit of time, but we want to make sure that we can have our lineup all set to go with a week to go before the end of May. Our May 31st is when we send out notifications to the filmmakers. So that's the but May 11th is the date you should have in mind for when you should have your blocks in their semifinal state. Speaking of duplicates, put together the blocks in the way that you feel fits best for the category. Don't make decisions about films because if there's something you really like and you think would be really good to be seen in your category, go ahead and keep it in there. Don't get too hung up on thinking, well, this might be a much better fit in a different category, because the person who's doing that category may not agree. And it may end up with a film getting tossed to the side because you didn't take it in yours and they didn't take it in theirs. And sometimes that stuff happens. We try to we still try to watch out for that kind of stuff. We try to take, find places for the higher rated films, but as you know, sometimes it doesn't work out because we're also dealing with a time issue, and it's tough with those long ones because there's several of the long ones that are really good, but with 45-minute limit, you can't fit too many 20-minute films in there. So that's something else to keep in mind. Not that there's a specific number of films you have to have in your category. I'm not giving you a minimum number of films, but that's what I'm saying. Especially when you're going through and putting it in the semi-final state, just put together the block that you think would be best. Does anyone have any questions? No, everyone's good. Okay. So now let me go back to the other screen. So I can tell you what you're working on. So as I said already, Adrian has drawn to horror and supernatural scares. Amantha mentioned has art house and this is family friendly on here, but we've been calling it spooky stories, and it's kind of our all ages block. Clara has Die Laughing. I'm gonna be working on WTF and Crimes and Passions, and then we also had enough films in a silent category that I'm going to just review and kind of see what we might have there. I don't know that that's really going to be a viable block. It depends on how these films kind of play together and they how they feel. It's just it's something that we've been interested in. That's why I was asking you to mark if a film was um silent, because we wanted to try that out. So I'm just gonna review it and check. That's not likely to end up being a block, but also Jessica has Fantastic Worlds, which is our sci-fi fantasy block, and Waking Nightmares, which is our psychological block. Justin, I have you doing our Anthology of Terror, which is essentially our Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt type stories. Noreen, you have the Occult, which is a mix of witches, folklore, legends. Um, there was something else with that I'm forgetting now. But essentially, that's what was it?
Well,
Folklore,
I don't know.
legend.
Is it like folklore, legends, like witch? Should we talk about like witches?
Yeah, that kind of,
That kind of stuff, right?
yeah, or just general occult stuff like the
Oh,
name has. Although we have talked about possibly changing the name of this category, which is another thing too, to mention, that we are not opposed to changing names of categories. Yeah, Norm.
I want to keep folklore frights only because it's funny to watch or listen to Amanda say it.
Yeah.
folklore, folklore, folklore,
Folklore frights?
folklore
Yeah.
frights.
Hey, very good. Okay, we can move on.
So
Whatever.
yeah, if you have any ideas for category names, if anything pops into your head that might be a good name to change the categories to, feel free to suggest it. Um, we are not opposed to suggestions or possibly changing the names of any of these categories. Ray has that's that's stuff that didn't get deleted off there. Ray has Creatures of the Night, which is our monster category, and Splattertown, which is the gore. Remy has Halloween. And then Trisha has Captive Audience and Stalkers and Slashers. And so, like I said, there's a couple other tabs on here. There'll be additional other tabs that are here on the document, but I currently have hidden now. But I'll be opening those up later as I need them, as far as working out our schedule and when we're putting together our jury, things like that. But all you really need to worry about is your own personal tab. The scores tab is on here. You can take a look at it if you want to. You don't have the scores on your as you know, you don't have the scores on your film freeway, but they are there. You can look at them and see what people have scored the film. I still recommend not doing that, um, especially for films that you haven't seen yet. I think most people have told me that they most everybody I think has told me that they like not being able to see everybody else's scores. That it's so it doesn't have that little bit of influence on you,
You
that I
can
think
just say
people
you can
found.
just say it's an Amantha rule because
No,
if I
it's
see
not
one
just.
score of one, I'm like, okay, it's a one.
And then the other thing here is I put a tracking page together where I was looking at our submissions from the last few years versus this year. This year is all our lowest submissions. However, that is also partially by design. We did raise our our submission prices this year, and the main reason we did that is to help reduce the number of kind of low production value films that we were getting in that we weren't going to end up taking anyway. Because as we've gone on as a festival, we've been getting better and better films. Each year we've been getting higher quality films, and so we're definitely going to lean towards putting those films in, and not so much the films that somebody picked up a camera and they're just recording the sound, with all the extra background noise, and they don't know how to edit stuff together. And so by raising our fee, we believe that we've been fairly successful, I think, actually, in reducing the number of those films that we've been getting. Likewise, the fee went up by a pretty decent chunk here for the late submissions. So again, we're hoping that reduces the amount of late submissions that we're getting in. But still, to this point, we've gotten 140 submissions, including those two that I mentioned before, the one that we disqualified and the one that withdrew. 140 is more than a reasonable amount, and most of them have received fairly good ratings. I think that we have the number of films that have, or I should say the percentage of films that I think have qualified from the submissions, as far as what their scores are, is been a higher percentage than what we've had in the past. So even though our number is lower, I think we're happy that the quality is continuing to go up. So that's on there as well. So I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing I wanted to make mention of, if nobody has any questions before I move on to the last thing. No, everyone's good? All right. So the last thing is just to keep in mind, if you will be available to come to the event, if you will be available to come and work in the room. I just noticed this. Okay. If you're available to come to the event, come work in the room, we would appreciate it. The more of us that are there, the fewer white bats we need to help out in the room. Although our white bat help has definitely gotten better in the last couple years. We've had some. It seems that the white bats kind of know about our room and how it works, and that there are people who want to come work our room, and we've had. I mean, again, by the fact that we have two people who were previously our white bats who are now part of our programming team, I think shows that we've been getting a better group of white bats coming in. But still, if we can have more of us there, the better, because it's easier for us to plan everything out in advance, to know what's going on, and particularly to not just disappear without telling us, which was an issue we had previously with the white bats. So
I only did that twice.
I remember 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Me too.
2019.
Well, Amantha and I were not.
It feels
at
like a lifetime
2019.
ago, I know, but
Well, yeah, but Amantha was in the hospital at the time, so
oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, that
sure.
made them
That
even
was
worse.
oh yeah.
The white hats that year were Jessica can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, she has. Oh, we know.
Yeah.
We heard.
We have heard. We have heard. Yes.
Oh,
So anyway, you don't have
it
to.
was bad.
You don't have to tell us right now tonight, but if you are available to come and help out in the room, just please try to let us know as soon as possible. We would love to have you there. So I think that's about it. I don't know if there's anything else. If Norm has anything
No, nothing really.
to mention.
No, at this point, no. I'm just really happy to see everything just kind of cruising along and going so smoothly, thanks to Eric and Amanda, and just pretty much all of us. It's a fantastic team that we have.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for watching the film. Everyone's done a really good job. I mean, we're at this point. I will tell you the other thing I didn't mention from there is that to move the films on from their initial submissions into being sorted into blocks, we want to make sure that our films have been reviewed by at least two at least two of you, and we're in excellent shape as far as that goes. We have four films that we only have four films that only have one review, and just two films that have yet to be reviewed. Everything else has been reviewed by at least two programmers. So we're doing really good with that. I appreciate everybody's help with watching that. And then Amantha also wanted me to mention that we have another horror movie night coming up at the end of April. We're showing Night of the Comet for its 40th anniversary. So if you're available to come that night,
in your 80s finest.
yes,
Yep.
yes, we would love
Also-
to have you there too. Yeah.
Also, don't be shy about promoting the event either through all your socials, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
Promotion is always helpful.
promotion is yes.
Promotion is
Absolutely.
yes.
Promotion is yes. That's how I speak.
So, okay, so yeah, I think that's about it. If there's not any questions from anybody else, if everybody understands what they need to do, and if you do have questions, after this, you can message me at any time, and I will help you out. If you have any trouble with the spreadsheet or with the Film Freeway, or there's something that you might have missed or unsure about, any questions at all, just let me know. You can message me at any time, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But like I said, after the meeting here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure everybody's categories are sorted to their Film Freeway, and then also to send out the link for the spreadsheet. And if that's another thing too, I'm just going to use the email addresses that are listed on Film Freeway. So if for some reason that's not the right email address, or you need that email address changed, just send me a message through Messenger to let me know, and I can switch that. I can switch that for you. But I think I have everybody's updated email address. You should know if you've been getting notifications. I think you should all be getting email notifications when I'm made changes to your Film Freeway, that you have new films assigned to you. I believe that's how it works. I don't get the notifications because I'm not assigning films to myself like that, and so.
Wow.
Cool.
But
Mhm.
anyway, so that's it.
Thanks you
Oh,
guys so much,
wait.
Eric. Thank you for everything.
Yes. What?
I was going to ask when does this start? When is the Screaming Room or Midsummer Scream?
When
What
is
date does
Midsummer
it
Scream?
start? Yeah, what day does it start?
It starts on my birthday, July 26th this year.
What? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so that's an
Nice.
makes it really easy for me to remember when it starts this year.
Oh,
I'm so excited to stay in a different hotel.
your hotel was amazing last year. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
It
it's
was-
hilarious in retrospect, but like when it was happening
But at the time, it
at the
was
time,
Oh my God. Yeah.
At
At
the
the time
time-
it was hot.
I reported all of their good reviews on TripAdvisor or Expedia. Sorry. They were all fake.
well, I was just glad to know that because I had looked at that one and considered it for us, and
You're
I
smart.
was glad we decided just to stay home instead and not get a hotel there.
It's like I can't wait to go to Midsummer Scream again this year and stay in a different hotel.
And
Yeah,
do
pretty much
not
anywhere
that
should be an
again.
upgrade.
Yeah,
But-
literally anywhere.
Yeah.
What hotel was it again? So you can warn everybody in case they want to get one.
Wait, what?
I forget I
What
forget
was
Which
the
one,
it's
what
hotel
was it
name?
called again?
Oh,
Yeah.
Greenleaf, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
yeah.
Stay away.
I'm done with boutique hotels. Anyway,
More like gangrene leaf. Huh?
Dang,
Yeah.
Greenleaf. Nice.
Oh,
Yo.
Huh?
Soylent Greenleaf.
Okay. So thank you again, everyone.
yes.
Thanks, you guys.
Like I said, reach out to me if you have any further questions.
All right.
Will do. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Thank
Signing out.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.